Oh my Lanta. We're gonna do this again. Because that's what happens when you dox yourself. Alright, so. Round 2, take 2. I'm just gonna cut through all the BS. You know, I gotta add this just because it needs to be added. I gotta refresh this, make sure it's good. Oh, is it not showing up? Come on. It's gotta. We'll get this figured out because that's just how we roll. Oh my Lanta. I guess in this case you just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. Alright. Because you gotta start over. So I'm gonna do this. Gotta pull this up. This. Copy. Paste. There's my twins GoFundMe page. She ended getting. I mean, I went through this whole spiel like earlier. Like you missed it. Complete spiel about life, everything, and then I doxed myself. So I had to like take it down, cut it off. My twin sister got a blood clot, lost a lot of her intestines. Life sucks now. One of the things in life, finances can stress out a person and their body. Obviously, she's going through a lot of life changes, and finances are hard for anybody these days. So I know not everybody can give, but I know there's some out there who may or may not be able to by passing this video along to somebody who might be able to. So if you can, a few bucks helps, you know. With that being said, I'm just gonna jump over to beyond the doxing, right? Because as you can see by the title, it's Make Aerospace Great Again, Zero Fuel Propulsion Revolution. Copyright by me. I was in the military, aerospace propulsion mechanic, and in life we learn a lot of things, and if we keep an open mind we can learn a lot more. Also, one of the things I believe is people tell us that things are impossible, right? Is it impossible? It isn't. They say it's impossible to have, or is it impossible? A self-sustaining energy that's clean and renewable, and also that provides anti-gravitational effects or forces, being able to create lift and motion and movement. Ergo, the whole title, right? Because we're it's the idea of zero fuel propulsion. If you can eliminate the carbon, the liquid fuel, solar fuel, air fuel, and just kind of figure out how to get a renewable fuel source, I think the core inside of Project Cosmos is the answer to that. And outside of that as well, I mean, those are two amazing jumps in advancements, but using, I think, something simple and maybe universal. One of the things we learn in life is that everything is, or everything moves in vibration, creates energy. That energy and vibration creates sound, and ergo that Trinidad, the trio there is a constant thing that everything, you know, will vibrate at different frequencies, different patterns, and if you can learn to mesh those, I think you can move symbiotically within for interstellar travel, intermedium travel. So how do we get from the impossible to intermedium travel, clean energy, renewable energy, self-sustaining energy, possible cloaking and plasma fields, maybe even hyper jump out of Project Cosmos? Well, with the things that are going on around the world and around us, things have made the ideas plausible based off of technology and digital, and it makes things almost easier to comprehend and grasp. So I won't keep it too long, but I'm going to just kind of just jump into the dynamics, the diagrams, and the thoughts and theories behind this new technology that I think could change the world. I mean, why not? With the way everything's going in a negative way, there's so many different other positive things that can happen. Why can't we do that? Bring something of an idea into the possible realm. And if I can't make it, I know that it's possible that somebody else can help make parts and bits and pieces so that this idea can be achievable. Now again, on my lantern, it was my glasses. This stuff is copywritten now. So let's just kind of just dive right into it, right? So here we go. And if I don't like respond, it's just because like it's a digital theory, a digital a digital dictionary input here. So let's get into business, because that's what we are here for, is some business. Oh, where did it go? I lost the document. PDF. Oh, here it is. Alright, here we go. So this is Project Cosmos. And the sun moved. Alright, capture window. Project Cosmos for your viewing pleasure. Oh, a little bit more. Alright, so now that we're past the doxing section, let's just kind of jump into this, right? Because this is how you make history. People want to, I'm either making history or I'm not making history, but there's only one way to find out, right? Is by, in my mind, doing it this way. So let's get on with it. I'm just going to read. I mean, obviously you can read along with me, but it's the basic idea, or I guess the thought or theory, or the well, let me fix this. So the field of invention, this invention relates to aerospace propulsion and sustainable energy systems, specifically a compact self-sustaining device using magnetic magneto to hydrodynamic principles, acoustics, resonance, and hydroelectromagnetic, or HEM, harvesting for indefinite and omnidirectional flight with experimental gravitational modulation. I mean, it's right there. What the idea and plan is. The system integrates advanced materials like graphene-coated electrodes and biomimicry structures to achieve high-efficiency energy conversion in control, enabling applications in personal aerial vehicles, space exploration, and zero emissions transport. So, what I'm trying to do here, let me help you out with this. Sunrise. So the background of the invention, right? Let's just talk about the field of the invention. There's there's 4 or 5 different core units to this. You got the core, you got the gimbal, you got the platform, and you got the housing. Okay. There's a few other things in between here and there, but we'll get to those at some point in time, or will we? So now we're talking about a self-sustained device using magnetohydrodynamic or MHD principles and hydroelectromagnetic principles with resonance. So you have a magnetic liquid core that reacts to magnetism. You have magnets that react to this fluid core, right? Integrated with acoustics. The acoustics affect the core, the liquid dynamics of the ferrofluid, which should in turn cause a reaction within that fluid to spin, separate, to pulse, to do different motions in a 3-dimensional or omnidimensional, more like an omnidimensional fashion, versus what you normally see in a 2D variation, ripples on water, sand on a vibrating platform. You're just applying it into a omnidimensional fashion. That stuff, that fluid inside that core is spinning around, reacting to the acoustics will cause it to do different shapes and stuff like that. And applying different magnetic intervals to create a stronger, more spinning rotational effect. So there's upgrades that were integrated. You know, so the thing about the biomimicry is you're going off of like insects and stuff like that. I mean, just patterns, the way things were made, that they're used through nature, throughout all nature. I mean, if you look at different things, it's amazing. That's part of the build, the structure, using biomimicry inside of the creation of the 3D printed parts, is so that each part has almost a different biome. I mean, you're talking honeycomb, you're talking bow tie, you're talking bumps, 3 or 4 other different ones. They all have different effects, serrations. They all have different effects to help either reduce or increase different aspects and perspectives of this whole interstellar propulsion. So now we're breaking down the breakdown of the invention. You see here that conventional propulsion systems are limited by fuel consumption, environmental impact, propulsion, seawater thrusters, and energy harvesting. Tribal electric, nano generators, piezoelectric harvesters exist but are not integrated for compact suitable flight. I'm going to change that because that's obviously. I'm going to change this because I want you to be able to see more of it, so that, you know what I mean, you can see more of what I'm reading. Why don't we just do it this way? That'll work. A little smaller version, but it's okay. It's on here. Exist but are not integrated for compact sustainable flight. Ferrofluid applications, like in bearings and stuff, and fringe research, like Joe Parr's unpatented pyramid experience from in 1990s Infinite Energy Journal suggestions that -3 against G inertia reduction provided inspirational but lack it as unified. This event addresses these gaps with a novel, accessible prototype. So me and Grok have sat there and trial and error, I guess. In a large scale electrical, mechanical, mental state, trying to figure this whole thing out, right? So then we go down to, let's see, statements, originality. So this invention is independently conceived by me, myself, moi, inspired by public domain principles like Tesla's vibrations theories. One of these quotations, if you want to unlock the secrets to the universe, or if you want to know the secrets to the universe, think of in sound, energy, and vibration, or something to the equivalent, which is what we're using in this device. We're using sound to create a vibration in the ferrofluid, which in turn will give us energy. So Einstein's theory about E equals MC squared, I have no idea. Is, you know, other things are smarter than myself. And unpatented fringe research by Parr's pyramids. It is distinct from prior act, blah blah blah. Read. I don't care. Read bearings, U.S. Non-existing patent matches the integrated ferro core, the 3-ring gimbal, or the 6-strand inducers, 3-axis Custio, graphene electrodes, and biometric features. So, so far this design isn't out there. This is our conception. So here we're going to talk, this is the whoa. Summary of invention. The invention is a 20 millimeter spherical craft. So the shell, right? Spherical with a small spherical core. That core, which is full of ferrofluid, has a couple electrodes in there that come out, you know, from that, which look like this. Nope. Well, I guess you'll see it. This is the description, I guess. So, when I get down to the pictures, you'll see what the electrodes and stuff like that. So, ensure 3-axis acoustics controllers for ferrofluid shaping and stability, biomimicry for the beetle lattice, owl serrations, shark riblets, lotus bump enhances efficiency. The system tests for gravitational anomalies, pairs inspired variation, includes glass spheres. There's alternative fluids and epoxies and stuff like that. So a detailed description, we're gonna, this is the core assembly. The core assembly is a 50 millimeter Pyrex sphere. These Pyrex, not glass, because of the temperatures and impact tolerances. In a triangular housing. Now this is a double terminated triangular housing versus a single triangle. And I think the effects of the double terminated triangle is the essence that has the opposite, right? Like a yin yang, the give and pull. Of course, you can't see what I'm doing, but you can just only hear what I'm saying. And it's like, let me do this. So the core is double terminated triangle. So I think it's got that like I said, that push pull. Let's see what else. The core, the housing, the pyrosphere is copper wrapped. So as the magnetic fluid rubs around that pyrex, it's going to discharge onto that copper housing. That copper housing is going to discharge onto other magnets and copper coils, thus creating a pickup of energy, hopefully. At the apex, transducers shape ferrofluid into spikes. There's maglev. So everything that the core is magleved inside of the double terminated triangle housing. The double triangle housing is mag-levitated in the gimbal housing, or gimbal rings. The gimbal rings are magnetic lev inside of the cube platform, and the cube platform is magnetically levitated within the sphere. How do you get all these things to work? I don't know, but that's the joy about trying to figure this out. If you have shielded magnets where they're only rotating or magnetic on certain faces and stuff, that helps to create your boundaries and control magnetic forces. So there is part of this whole system. It's called the pinch off, and there has to be designed into this system an emergency pinch off, safety pinch off, a double redundancy for the pinch off, because with this, if there is the chance that there's an excessive voltage or something like that, it's got to discharge, and there should be discharge ports so that it can discharge into a plasma field around the sphere on the outside, thus creating a plasmic field around the sphere, adding towards the ability of cloaking or infrared readouts or something like that. Oh, another part about this is I think when you think about the terms of like a black hole or even the sun or travel, is like sometimes it's, I don't know how, it's easier to go around versus along the face, up and over. So if your sphere is a complete best mirror polish as possible to reflect that light of single impact, so that it goes around and comes back, you're reflecting the light on both sides, thus making the entire craft seem invisible. So the propulsion system electrodes apply has quite a bit of boost. Electrodes apply at 10 kilovolt to ionize ferrofluid into plasma, form Rosen-White spikes or whatever, Rosenzweig spikes, torses via 6 transducers, 12 EM coils, induced Lorentz force, and there's the blah blah blah, the mathematics or whatever. 3-ring gimbal, tilts core from blah blah, right? So detail description part 2. energy harvesting. So HEM, right? It combines the triboelectric, graphene enhanced, piezoelectric, thermoelectric, and EM induction. So throughout these different things, hopefully our output is 250 milliwatts. Oh no, these are yeah, milliwatts for that sensor, 40 milliwatts capacitor bank. So gimbal instruction. The rings with maglev bearings, spokes with beetle, honeycomb, and owl serrations. Shark riblets. So biomimicry is, I think, big in this to help with just making everything hum and flow and move smoothly and as best coherent as possible, right? Oh, my Lanta, that music stopped, didn't it? Oh, we'll get that back up, don't you worry. Can't have you not listening to anything. Vinyl chairs. Oh, that's why. My actions. There you go. Don't ask me what happened there, but that's okay. So, some more detailed description. The controls and sensors. The ESP32 manages the jets and electrode sensors and the app and the VR interface. So we want to have as best, or try to have the best telecommunications and transmission and protection between the craft and the VR module. You know what I mean? Without sacrificing safety, security, and whatnot. But yeah, this is just a backyard thing. But if it works, it works. Of course, there's some variations of some stuff up there. Definitely not using a glass sphere for prototyping. I'm using 6 transducers. Probably going to use the EM90. Prior art statement: the invention improves upon US blah blah blah, using ferrofluid instead of seawater and adding 6 transducers and a 3-axis control. And it differs from US patent something by integrating propulsion and multi-source energy harvesting. No prior art matches this combination. Conclusion: the original invention provides sustainable propulsion for aerospace with accessible do-it-yourself construction and potential for gravitational modulation. My, oh wow. To the world. Down in history. Meet the president. Thank you very much. Glad to meet you. Exploded view of core assembly. So here's the core. You can see there's copper electrodes, graphene and encoded. Measurements and stuff like that are more precise and in another PDF that I have that will be shared with the patent office. Obviously there's pickup coils on the outside, and then there's a high temp epoxy around to seal the 2 halves. Fill it with ferrofluid, wrap it in copper tape. And then that just kind of illustrates the assembly of the core, highlighting the ferrofluid chamber, transducer placements for 3-axis control, and electrical integration for plasma generation. Kind of comes down here. And the this next one will kind of depict the omnidirectional gimbal structure showing the tilt axis and Z motions. Kind of, but not really, but this may be kind of interesting to understand. So inside here, the center is the core, which is the copper glass filled ferrofluid core with magnets kind of holding it in center of place. Now from there, there's obviously going to be magnets on the double terminated triangle, so that it creates its own levitational field. Of course, each ring will have its own magnetic rotational field. Now these are all going to be applied and affected, or at least a portion. I guess if the sound waves going through the structure, I guess we'll have to figure this one out. The application of sound waves. Of course, biomimicry patterns on the rings, and so the benefit of having 3 ring versus 1 ring is obviously your directional control, left, right, back, forward, versus just a single plane. So there's that. And then there's something there. So the idea is by creating acoustic and applying acoustic sound in specific areas or all around, you can cause the magnetic fluid to either be forced in one direction, or you can cause it to even, I believe, swirl or create internal motion, as well as creating opposite, I guess, like an opposite effect force, if that makes any sense. And then we're going to go down here, flowchart style, schematic, or propulsion mechanics, including reducers, that was up there, yeah. So the cube platform houses the core and electronics. There's bays in which the electronics are stored. Mag latch, so you can lid it. Of course, there's biomimicry patterns on these as well. Now here, I would assume maybe that this chamber would have the acoustics as well as maglevs to affect the magnetism or magnetic field or the acoustic field within the core, causing it to be reactive, and then creating the whole thing to move within itself, but yet the whole assembly itself again is levitated on its own. Same with the blocks, it's levitated on its own from the housing. Again, the idea is using acoustics and magnetic or electro and fluid dynamics to kind of help create whatever it creates. Hopefully a self-sustaining energy of perpetual motion and rotation and magnetism, self-sustaining power. And on a different scale, big enough scale, you can make this interstellar, if we haven't already, and come back to show it. I mean, so the outer shell here is, like I said, well coated. Fiber optics for your telecommunications and for communicating. White light, red, green, blue lasers. They have different wavelengths in which all this information can travel. And again, magnetic levitation to house the core and the platform within the sphere, using wireless Bluetooth and Wi-Fi charging and transmission between each of the individual units and of the individual it's the separation between like the VR headset, user interface, and the drone itself, the prototype itself. And you know, so that's kind of the manual right there on this thing. Now, again, I'm working on the patent. The patent will be submitted. If in the comments or in relations after this video is posted and people are actually like interested in this, again, email is in there somewhere. People can sit there and email me in regards to this project. Matter of fact, it's in the copyright, in the description, and people can reach out and hopefully we can collaborate. If not, I mean, this is a process that I'm working on trying to get going myself. I mean, again, dreams coming true. What are you willing to do to make dreams come true? Are you willing to see it through? Ended up getting some boards, not that you can see these, but I'll pull them up right here so you can. Ended up getting boards today. So that I can sit there and work on creating the circuitry that I need for this prototype. It's all part of what do you believe enough in yourself, and what are you willing to do to make something you believe a reality. You know. Hold on, that's loud. I didn't think about that. Oh, I got this today too. What is this? Let's see what this is. I'm not allowed to. Oh, this is like, so part of this system is redundancy. So it'll be interesting to see how I'm gonna sit there and fit this battery in there. A battery for this unit, so that it can have a backup, or its initial startup and stuff like that, so that there's a reserve battery in case something happens, or so you can start the whole process. I mean, you'll have to have an electrical system, just like these other things have some type of auxiliary starting units. A small battery pack is a perfect auxiliary unit. So, I mean, with that, in this world, we can hope to change it, or we can just watch it go by. And I hope that Project Cosmos prototype here can sit there and help change the world. I can sit here and continue, but I'll probably do another day where I'll go in detail more about like the wiring and the coding and the making of the parts within Shaper, the specific designs, you know, maybe work on different sections throughout the year or throughout the months or whatever, and just kind of progress with myself through this project, or with society and this project. Because if one person can affect the spatial of humanity by something as simple as this, in a combined way that can change how we use and look at energy, sound, and frequencies and vibrations, then why not tap into that and make something like this a reality that is easy, cost-effective, renewable, and usable in more than one way, shape, and form. So with that, this is where I leave people off in the realm of thought and new discoveries. And this is something that you think is a possible way of changing aerospace propulsion. Not, I mean, for the future of humans, for interstellar. I mean, let's make aerospace great again. And with that, Chuck the Deuce. I'll say peace. Until next time, adios muchachos. Keep calm and treasure on.